And we are live.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. And right now that's just you and I. um, Welcome back. Today we're going to do part two. And then at the end we'll have, we got one person here. Awesome. Um, we're going to discuss topic 3. I'm going to go ahead and put that up there. And then we're also going to go ahead and do 3 and 4 and then do the conclusions today.
Perfect.
So back with me is the beautiful and very wise Lady Knight
Oh
of
my God.
Avalon, Maria. Well,
Thank you.
wisdom comes from experience, right?
I hope so, yeah.
So, I
I hope
mean,
I have some wisdom.
yeah, I think so. So how about we just jump right in?
Let's do that.
Uh, the first question is, when I follow other creators in the community space, does it make me feel genuinely inspired and empowered, or does it create feelings of FOMO and being less than? And I'm going to let you take that away.
All right. So I'm going to talk about it in the sense of like my tarot channel because I don't have a witchy channel. And so when I joined TarotTube, it was to become part of the discussion and to find like-minded people. So it wasn't, I mean, was it fear of missing out? I don't know. I just wanted connection. And the only way to do that was to play an active part instead of just a passive part. So I could have very well just commented on the other people's videos, but that would have been very limiting for me to actually join in with the discussions. So I decided, yeah, I'm going to create my own channel and I'm going to make videos and we'll see how that goes. So, in that sense, I felt inspiration from other people's channels because I saw how they were talking about their experiences and I wanted to do that too. So, in that sense, I guess that was a sense of empowerment and definitely inspiring. And I never felt less than because for me, my tarot channel is a hobby, it's recreational, and so I don't put any stress on it.
Absolutely. I love that, and I feel the same way because in the beginning I did have a little bit of FOMO, and it was because I was just so excited. I was like a little kid in a candy store, and I wanted to be a part of it.
Mhm.
And I think my sister had given me a bunch of tarot, and because I didn't really understand what tarot, I wasn't, it's not that I didn't understand it, but I wasn't, I hadn't learned the tarot very well. And I didn't understand everything that she had given me. And I just wanted to share. So I gave away some of the stuff that she gave me, just wanting to, I'm not materialistic at all.
Mhm.
And so I gave away some really good tarot that I didn't realize was good at that time. So then when I started learning tarot, got more in depth with it, then I was like, "Oh, crap, why did I do that?" But I wasn't mad or nothing, because I did it for good reason, good
Mhm.
intentions. But the FOMO was seeing that people were still showing and talking about these. I really did want to be a part of that conversation because I was so darn excited. And there was a part of me that was like, I can't believe I thought this was bad for so long. And I want to share that, for people that think it's bad. You know what I mean? I was
Mhm.
just like thinking, I just want to like enlighten and like show you what I've learned. And it was from excitement and from good intentions. Um, and I might have gotten a little carried away. It was 2020,
Yeah.
2021. Um, everybody was, kind of shut in. And I got a little carried away with my purchases too. But I look back now and I think I'm glad that I purchased all that stuff, because I have it now, And now that I know more about tarot, I'm just, I don't know, I'm just grateful. It's like, I think everything that we do is a lesson,
Right.
and now I make better decisions with my paycheck. But that's really all it is. I don't like, if it's something that I think I need to have, then I get it. If it's something that I know is just a want or a need, I check my budget, and if I've got it, I get it. If not, then I don't. It's just as simple as that.
Exactly.
Um, and as far as like being less than, I don't ever compare myself. I learned a long time ago in my, you know, musician years, that you just can't compare yourself, because that will definitely bring about feelings. It's a blow to your ego, your self-esteem. I just don't compare myself. And
Yeah.
no, I don't feel less than. I'm happy with myself. I always have been.
Right. I forgot who said it, but there's a quote that says, "Comparison is the thief of joy."
Yeah, it truly is. It truly is. And yeah, we're going to get into that imposter syndrome too. So the next question is if I experience FOMO, has it ever left me feeling vulnerable to be taken advantage of financially or otherwise? An example would be the need to purchase the latest popular product or book to fit in. I already answered that
Yeah.
one.
Well, for me, when I started my tarot tube journey, of course, I was watching other people and I suddenly saw all these decks I had never seen before. I didn't know there were suddenly all these decks because between 1999, when I got my first deck, and 2018, when I found Tarot Tube, I was working with 5 decks. One of them was just a majors deck, and the other 4 were like complete decks. And that was it. And then in those years, I tried to get the Atlantis Tarot, waited too long. It was out of print, couldn't get it. And I thought, nah, what the hell? So I'm just going to stick with the ones I had. And suddenly, going back to Imogen Walters, she was one of the people that I watched in the beginning. And
Mhm.
she was showing all these Oracle decks all of a sudden. And I loved how she explained what these decks can do. And of course, I wanted to get them. And then suddenly I was hearing, well, some decks might go out of print and stuff. So better get them now before they're gone. So maybe that was a sense of FOMO to
Oh, yeah.
have them before they're gone because
Yeah.
I wanted to have them. I wanted to have the new shiny thing. I wanted to see what I had been missing all these years because I didn't know
Mhm.
it existed. But I was really excited about it. And a lot of it, especially after 2020, was also like self soothing, retail therapy. It was, congratulating myself for surviving another week in this
Yes.
environment at work, whatever. And so I was just doing it for myself. I always made sure that I wouldn't go financially overboard. Like I would still pay my bills and everything, but whatever money I had left over, I would spend on myself. And I never felt the need to purchase anything. I felt the want and the desire to purchase
Yeah.
something. And I see that as a difference. It was never in order to fit in. It was like I saw what other people had and I wanted to have it too.
Yeah.
Not because I wanted to be like them, but because I liked what I saw. I was like a magpie. New shiny thing, need to have it.
Yeah. I did get caught up in that wanting to fit in, and when I first started my channel, because I in the back of my mind, I was thinking that's how I'm gonna grow numbers.
Mm,
Um, but then, stuff was not working out the way I had hoped, and I was just like, I had to really take a good look and be like, "Why am I doing this?" You know what I mean? And
mhm,
that's when I revamped my channel. I thought, everything was kind of like gimmicky in the beginning. I thought, this is going to get me numbers. And then I really had to take a look at what my channel is about. And I was like, it's all part of my own growth, I think.
mhm.
It's like, it's not about fitting in. This is just about being me. And there's growth in that because who am I? You know,
Yeah.
who am I? It's like before I was a musician who worked in a factory. And then all of a sudden my jobs I'm switching jobs because I think that's Oh, I gotta say hi to Julia. Hi, Julia. Thank you.
Hi. Nice to see you, or
Yes,
yeah, see you in chat.
absolutely.
You can't see us today.
So I wanted to, I knew my whole life had changed when I started having grandbabies. And there was a part of me that just had to find myself again. I'm like, who, I took so much, like the town that I lived in, I would be recognized, it felt good. Like, oh yeah, you're in that band. And, I worked in a big factory. Everybody in those factories and Elkhart, Indiana is the RV capital of the United States. So, or the world. And so it's like these factories have a lot of people that work in them. And
Hmm.
everybody knows each other for the skills. And mine was graphics and seal. And like I was really good at the graphic part of it. So I took pride in that. I took pride in being a lead singer for a band. That was who I was. And I totally became I had to identify with someone else, you know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
identifying with everything that I did, and I was crying inside, and I still wanted to be that other person, but I had to realize who I was without that stuff.
Mhm.
And so my journey began honestly when I came here to YouTube and actually started talking about myself. I was still finding myself. I'm probably still finding myself. Every time I'm presented with a hard lesson, I have to reassess and look at myself. So admitting that, I was here to fit in is part of that journey. Knowing that I don't have to fit in is also part of that journey.
Yeah.
So when practicing your craft, do you find yourself comparing what you do to what you see other people doing online?
Mm, in the beginning, when I started my channel, I wanted to make sure that I can join in, and that meant I needed to get some traction on my channel so that I would be, suggested to other people. And the very first 3 videos that I actually posted were pick a cart readings because I knew they would get me some numbers quickly. And like the first 50 subscribers were only from those 3 videos. And after that, I joined the 31 Days of Tarot, as many others do too. And that was the Kickstarter point for me to join in on the conversation because other people were doing it too. And we had similar topics to talk about. You could exchange ideas, whatever. And that really was when I started my channel, like really with talking about tarot. And of course, I saw what other people did on their channel, but I didn't really want to compare and be like, oh, I need to do this too in order to get numbers because I want to talk about my personal experience. And my experience is my own. So I can't really compare that to other people totally. There's overlap with other people, certainly, but I mean, just there's so many differences in all of us. I mean, this is a global thing, and everyone from different countries and cultures, and also different age groups. We all have different experiences, so it would be very difficult to really compare everything, I think. And
Yeah.
so the easiest thing is to just speak from personal experience because that's what people want to know, right? I mean, I don't want to watch a channel that is going to tell me the exact same thing as another channel because they're just copying each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want the personal experience.
Absolutely. See, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think like comparing, like I don't compare myself to other people, but in the beginning I was comparing what the bigger channels were doing.
Mhm.
And so like and also with like the trying to fit in thing. And I was in way more groups than what I'm in now, but yet they were kind of almost impersonal to where now the groups are extremely personal because I'm connecting with more like-minded people. Where
Mhm.
before I was just trying to make connections, you know?
Right.
And now they're, you know, you guys are my friends, my confidants, my sisters, you know, and brothers,
Mhm.
I, including everybody. I am now, I don't compare myself to people for anything. And that's something, like I said, I never did it before. Um, but again, it was something new. So I was trying to see what people were doing with their channels. And I did try to do that, but it
Mhm.
just wasn't, it's just not me. It's just not me, you know? And so now I definitely try to just do my own thing. And that's really about it.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
the
unique to me.
the style of videos are going to be very similar because when we show things that we own and we talk about them, you know, the show and tell videos, whether it's halts, anti halts, flip throughs, whatever, those are going to be like very similar on all the channels.
That's true.
And then there's the live chats, like the formats are very similar, but the
Yeah.
content, what's actually being talked about, that is personal.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, because I'm actually I'm in the Hay House subscription club and I've been there in that for a year. And I don't think I've done one walkthrough of the decks that I've received. And I just got three more and I only unwrapped the first one because I thought I'm gonna do a walkthrough. I haven't had a chance to do it yet, but I am gonna do a walkthrough because I personally have found when purchasing, it's like it's one of those things that I had to learn. A walkthrough is like, I'm so grateful to the people that are doing the walkthroughs.
Hmm.
And Hay House is it's the newer, you know, it's stuff that hasn't been on the market for a minute, or you know, it's newly released, better word for it. So I feel like I should do my part and show people because I like that, you know what I mean? And I don't need
Yeah.
to go into great depth, you know, with my own feelings on it. I just want to show it and kind of be a little bit slow with the cards so that people can really see what they're getting before they make the purchase. And that's really it. I'm probably going to give my opinions, but I am going to do the walkthroughs for the ones I just got.
Yeah.
Hi, Phoenix Fire.
Hi.
Thank you for
But
being.
then me being a stickler for language, a walkthrough is like the in-depth thing, and just
So I
showing the
should.
cards would be a flip through. And I
Okay.
think that is something that this quote unquote community uh, might want to pay more attention to, like how you name things, because yeah, a walkthrough means you actually talk about how you use the deck and you know
Okay.
you really walk someone through. And the flip through is just that, just showing cards. And both videos are good. I mean, the flip throughs have helped me a lot to make
Okay.
purchasing decisions or to say, nah, this is not really for me. So I am grateful to the people who show the decks. But when I see walkthrough, I want more information. I want to know
I
how it
think
reads
that's
for the person, all that.
I think that's a really good point. You've even told me that before, so I do agree with that. It does make sense. And getting like if you want somebody's opinion, then you click on the video that says walkthrough.
Mhm,
If you don't,
exactly.
then you click on the one that says flip through, and it simplifies it. So I can appreciate that. So language is important.
It
I
matters,
agree
yeah.
with that. Absolutely. The last question on this topic is what would my practice look like without the social media influence of other creators?
Did we skip over?
Did we?
Yeah, I think in what ways do I combat imposter syndrome?
Oh, you know what? God, we that's the
We don't
ADHD.
have
Sorry.
imposter syndrome, we don't need to talk about it. Done.
Well, you know
Next.
what? We did, and you know what? I looked it up, and you said you did too,
I
because
did too, yeah.
I did not really understand what imposter syndrome is. And go ahead and tell us what you found, Maria.
So I found that it says here, you might have imposter syndrome if you find yourself consistently experiencing self doubt, even
Mm,
in areas where you typically excel. Imposter syndrome may feel like nervousness accompanied by the belief that you'll be quote unquote found out. And it may also manifest as negative self talk. Symptoms of anxiety and depression are often accompanied with this whole thing. And the irony is that usually people with imposter syndrome are the ones that are highly accomplished. So, yeah,
yeah.
imposter syndrome, I don't think I have it
Mm-mm.
because, like we were talking about this before we came on air,
Mhm.
and you said that it goes back to like inner child stuff and wanting,
Yes.
like having this really deep desire to prove yourself to
Yep.
others, which
Yep.
goes back to how you were treated as a child. And I have
Yes.
to say, I come from a family where yes, I was pushed to do my best. I was expected to get good grades in school. And, you know, since they paid a lot of money for my hobbies, I was supposed to do well in those too. And if I was being lazy and slacking off, they were telling me that that's not a good thing.
Yep.
And when I was doing really well and I accomplished something, then I was praised. So I got both. And so, in that sense, I never developed this feeling of being less than and
Mhm.
constantly having to prove myself.
Yep.
Also, I think as an only child, not having any siblings, that
Yes.
also makes it easy for me not to have it.
Yep.
And yeah, so I don't really share that feeling because I've never experienced it.
That's a very good point. I can't believe I skipped over that because we talked about that for a lot.
Mm.
I think that, yeah, like in my own immediate family, um, I can see where that could have, like, I was put on a pedestal for my accomplishments, but my mom was extremely busy a lot. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
if I was accomplishing something, I knew I was getting her time. You know,
Oh, okay.
if I wasn't, then you know, uh, sorry. Um, gosh darn it.
Oh
Okay,
my god.
collect myself. Um, that didn't happen like as much because I'm affected by it that you would think, but
Mm.
just talking about it is a little bit difficult. But um, I saw things from uh my point of view.
Mhm.
Gosh darn it. Um,
Take your time.
so you know, uh, my sister's seen things from her point of view. And there, I was in my shoes, she's in her shoes, my mom is in her shoes. That's where the shadow work comes in, and the whole like imposter syndrome uh can also be, it's your own self-doubt. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that somebody tells you, but I can see that in people that have imposter syndrome, that there was a voice somewhere in their childhood that told them they weren't good enough. And my heart breaks for those people.
Mm.
And so it's like shadow work helps you to have compassion if you see somebody that is experiencing that imposter syndrome. There's nothing you can do, because I also found through this that, like, because it's that victim mentality. There's a people pleaser in me that just wants to tell people how beautiful they are.
Mhm.
And but a person that is experiencing that and cannot see their own beauty, though your words are energy, and you are expending that energy at your own expense when they just keep taking it. So, people pleasing is something that I found myself doing if somebody was experiencing imposter syndrome. I didn't understand what it was, and and if I had it, I don't think I truly did, but I can understand in myself where I knew that trying to, get my mom's attention, I had to be I had to put myself on that pedestal and I couldn't fall off. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so when you are trying to heal the inner child, there are times that you might experience things that without shadow work, you just don't realize those things. And I
Yeah.
can't tell somebody that they are experiencing imposter syndrome. I can only speak for myself. And
Right.
so can I say I've never experienced it? No, I can't say that. But, part of this whole journey has been like constant shadow work to work through my own stuff. And so for me to judge somebody else, I'm not going to, because I really have no clue. I only know myself. And if I'm gonna, uh, if I'm going to combat imposter syndrome, how I would combat that with is shadow work.
Mm.
just just looking at my own shadow and addressing, you know, if it's possible. I mean, it's not it's not denying, I guess, like, it's accountability. There, that's the word I'm looking for. It's accountability for
Mhm.
yourself, you know. And sorry
Right.
about that. I was just didn't
No,
realize it
no,
was
don't
gonna
apologize
hit
for
me
that.
hit me like
But
that.
something that is also with this, like inner child work and all of that, something that is not being talked about enough, and something that I also learned not too long ago is the whole thing with generational trauma. Because the way that your mom treated you is based on what she learned from her parents, and what
Yes. Oh
her
my
parents
god.
learned from
Yes.
their parents, and so on. It's always being passed down. So eventually, with every generation, the backpack of things that you carry around with you is just going to get bigger if it's not being addressed. And so the
Absolutely.
shadow work also, like, it's the forgiveness part that we
Mhm.
are supposed to do is, yes, we need to forgive ourselves, because in certain points, we as kids didn't have the opportunity to deal with it, to know what it was. We were just thrust into it. And
Yeah.
our parents didn't really know that they were doing it, because this is what they experienced. To them, it was just a
Yes.
normal thing. And
Absolutely.
the forgiveness has to go back a lot further, and acknowledging it. And so there's a lot more, like this whole generational thing. I think that should be acknowledged a lot more.
I agree. And like going back into to any memory that I have that, is painful. It's
Hmm.
like one of the things that I do for myself personally is forgive, because I feel like, if I was to like bring up every little thing that might have affected me today, I mean, think about what that would do to the person, like you said, like my mother
Hmm.
or someone else. It's like, no, I know, like, with every fiber of my being, that the love that my mom has for my sister and I is it's so unconditional. Even though, as humans we put conditions on each other, there's she still has, I feel it. And what I have for her is the same. It's like we're two different people, but it does not matter.
Hmm.
And I know that she would have laid down her life for us. And today she would still do that. That's who she is. She's the most beautiful person, and I hold no blame. I think that we're all human, and the fact that we can all, just like you said, we all fall short sometimes.
Hmm.
And that's what it is. The beautifulness is knowing that that's how imperfect we are, and it makes us perfect. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
we're perfectly human, and that's what
There's
it is.
there's
I just
beauty in imperfection.
gosh, yes, because I don't want to be like anyone else, and I am who I am with the help of the guidance of my mother. And I think that um more than likely I planned out these lessons on the other side while waiting to incarnate. That's part of my
Mm.
own personal belief, and she's my mother for that reason, and who she is today is just she's an amazing person that I'm so grateful for.
Mm.
So I mean, shadow work has no blame in my eyes. And I think that's part of the healing.
Yeah. It's just acknowledgement.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on to the last question. What would my practice look like without the social media influence of other creators?
If we didn't have social media, then it would probably be like what I had way in the beginning, just a few books and being very solitary. Maybe eventually I would have found someone in my close circle, like work friends or something that might be interested in the same thing. And maybe I would have found someone to talk to about these things, but not a guarantee. So I am very grateful that we do have social media, that we do have these platforms, and that we can connect. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to have this conversation with you right now because
Absolutely.
we wouldn't even know each other.
I know.
So, in that sense, it's a blessing. It's also a curse because there's a lot of negativity that just comes
Yeah,
with the thing.
I
But
think so.
overall, I love it and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Absolutely. Yesterday in our conversation where we were talking about the whole social media aspect of what I thought was like dividing and sometimes I think it's just political memes. And then you get your fact checkers and all. It's like, but the social connection, not so much the media, it's the connection. It's
Mm,
it's being able to reach out across an ocean and find friendship and love. I am absolutely on the same page. I am so grateful for that because Maria, you have enriched my life in so many ways.
mm.
You know,
Back
you
at you.
yeah, the Julia and Phoenix Fire, I won't say your name, Phoenix, but I know you. And Melissa, she's a new friend. You guys are amazing, but I can reach out and I can connect like, real time, not in a comment section and have conversations and it does not make a difference if you're standing next to me
Mhm.
because that connection is uh it reaches across the ocean, I
Right,
mean, or
right.
across the world. It is a beautiful thing.
Mm. And also for me as an introvert, I absolutely love the online connections because I
Oh
don't
yeah,
have to leave my sofa. I can still sit here in my PJs and, I can connect with people. And as someone, like, I think the older I get, the less people I like to actually have around me physically. But I
true.
love the online connection because I can just be in
Absolutely.
my own space and feel safe and comfortable and still have interaction. So I can have the best of both worlds.
Absolutely. And I was just, thinking about the question, how has it influenced my practice? And honestly, it's influenced it greatly because there are so many things that I didn't know.
Yes.
So when, you know, even if it's somebody I'm not friends with, if I go and I just look at their video and they're sharing parts of their practice, I am I learn, and I keep an open mind, because, I only know what I've experienced and I only know what I've consumed. So listening to someone else's perspective opens up my own, you
Right.
know, and I'm gonna try something if I'm, if I get a good vibe from it, I'm at least gonna research it, vibe it or whatever. And if it resonates, it's going in my practice. And my practice, I mean, like, my spirituality, because that it does change with everything that I consume. I'm
Mm,
growing. So I'm
right.
not gonna stop learning or stop listening to people. I'm constantly growing. So you are absolutely right. Without the social media influence, who knows? I mean, I can't really speak on it because I'm too involved to say otherwise. Y you know?
Mm. And I know that certain topics I probably never would have even looked into or studied if it hadn't been for listening to other people talk about it.
Yeah.
Like me looking into Tree of Life and in connection with tarot and Kabbalah and the Hebrew alphabet and all that, I probably never would have tackled that on my own.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, Phoenix says that's a good example of shadow work being misjudged as an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that you're exactly right. I think we can't tell other people how to do shadow work. But Maria and I were discussing this earlier. If something someone says affects you negatively, then you have shadow work,
Right.
because nothing anybody says is about you unless they're saying this is about you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're assuming otherwise. And if you think it's about you, it's because there's something inside of you that is acknowledging it. And so, shadow work, yeah. And introversion does affect how we communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And, just by knowing that about yourself helps you to be a little bit more compassionate when you see that in someone else. Because if you're affected by it, it's because, again, you're acknowledging it. So have compassion instead of judging them for maybe they didn't say it right, or like myself, I miss a lot of words. So sometimes you may not understand what I'm trying to say. And, but I mean, yeah, it's the misjudgment because there's no compassion, you know what I mean? And that the compassion and the understanding comes from understanding that we all have things we got to work through.
Right.
All right, so let's move on to the last topic. So topic 4 is capitalizing off of community.
Ooh, that's the good one.
Yeah. Do I consider online communities as equally valid to in-person communities?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because like we just covered that with the whole
Mhm.
having the worldwide connections that we otherwise wouldn't have in real life.
Yeah.
And just because it's like, I mean, we learned this over the past couple of years that Zoom meetings at work are just as effective as in-person meetings. Everyone gets to speak, everyone gets their tasks on what to do, and it works, And so the same thing can be said in the private setting with communities. It works, we can do that. And with modern technology, with FaceTime and everything, you can even take people on a journey with you, vlogging and all that stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you can participate in someone's life without physically being there. And yeah, I don't see why that wouldn't be equally valid.
Absolutely. I 200% agree. So, I mean, I don't even have anything to add because we did just talk about it and you said it beautifully. How has online occult/witchcraft communities impacted you as a person and a practitioner? I think we covered that too, but
Well, for me, in terms of tarot, it made me more open to new
mm,
topics, more
yep,
interested in new things.
yeah,
It enabled me to find like-minded people and even form close connections and friendships.
yeah,
And so for me, this has been a good thing. It also shows the ugly side of things.
yeah,
So it's a perfect example of what kind of shadow work we all have to do.
yes, yep,
But it's a great, like, even if you look at it on a psychological level, there's so much to analyze. Like, you would never get bored just analyzing stuff. It has educational value, it has entertainment value, and in that, I really enjoy it. And for my practice, yeah, it has helped me a lot, and it made it faster and easier because of it in comparison to me doing that on my own all these years and not really knowing where to start, which books are good. And so hearing other people's commentary on books and decks and all that is just super helpful and streamlines everything.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And I think for myself, how it has impacted me as a person and a practitioner is the lessons, and the ones that I actually like, if the universe is showing you repeated situations that you find yourself in, then there's still something that says, okay, you got to learn this lesson, Carla, you know? And so, I listen more, and I'm not like going to go into every lesson that I've learned, but I mean, it's, you learn certain things that you can take with you, that when that situation arises, it's going to arise again, but you're going to handle it differently.
Hopefully.
Exactly. That's the whole point. Hopefully, so that you don't find yourself in it again, or you learn to, not that things like that won't happen, but it's going to end with you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think when we get to the conclusion, there's a few things that I want to discuss, but until we get to that, I just want to keep moving on.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the dangers of the current phenomena of capitalizing off the witchcraft community?
Okay, talking about it in terms of tarot, let's play Groundhog's Day, shall we?
Okay.
This is the one topic, the whole consumerism, capitalism that comes up once a year in the so-called community. And quite frankly, I find this topic annoying and redundant because, first of all, the entire complaining about it is I mean, with TarotTube, we have created the machinery that's behind the publishing houses, because in showing all these things, they
Mm,
saw, okay, there seems to be a demand, so we need to
yep.
publish more. And then people were showing more, and then more got published, more got shown. It's like a never ending cycle. So to complain about people actually showing everything that there is in different ways is like, we have created the monster, so why do we complain about it? If we didn't want this, then we should just stop showing those videos. We should not do the flip throughs and not do the walkthroughs. And then if there's no more demand, maybe the publishers would scale back too. Who knows? But by creating the demand, we made it happen. So to then complain about the capitalism of this, to me, is just what's the word? Hypocritical.
Yes.
And I don't see why there's even a reason to complain. Now, what I have noticed, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but it seems the people that actually complain about the whole consumerism aspect of it are usually the ones that complain from a side of lack, because they might not have the same financial means as someone else. Because if you want to play in the world of capitalism, you have to have capital. And if you don't have it, you can't participate. And with that comes envy, because you compare yourself to others. So if you can't play with the same toys, you get frustrated. And then comes the whole, oh, why do we have to show so many decks, and can't we do with less, and all that kind of stuff. So the people who have more financial means, they're going to show more, and they
Yeah.
have the right to do so.
Yep.
So the people who can't afford it, but they still want to participate, well, they have to find a way to deal with it without breaking the bank. There are other topics that they can talk about on their channel. It doesn't need to be like, oh, I need to show the newest decks. And then there's always the opportunity of just approaching the publishers and trying to get some kind of brand deal or whatever, where they
Yeah.
send you the stuff for reviews. You can do that.
Yeah.
And, it's just a financial complaint that's behind all of this. And I'm over it. I don't want to hear this consumerism talk anymore, because it's just redundant. It's annoying.
Yeah. Until people are taking accountability for themselves, it's going to be an ongoing conversation. So,
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it just means take accountability for yourself. Now, like we in the podcast that we had done on that, I had mentioned the whole there's a I forget what they call it. There's a date that we reach every year that gets closer and closer to the beginning of year where we as consumers are eating up Earth's resources. And I admit that to me there is a there's a group of people that are actually like monitoring that, and I don't think that's bad. I think that it's important, but then again, it doesn't give us the right to judge another person for who they are, what they do with it, why they have opinions. It doesn't give us the right. If we want to be an activist, then judging someone else is not going to help you be an activist. You know, you have your own platform, be an activist on your platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I am offended by you being an activist, then I'm just either not going to follow you because I'm not ready to take accountability for myself. But honestly, we are going to consume. It is what we do. You know what I mean? We for whatever reason, I don't need somebody judging me because I'm consuming something. We consume.
Yeah.
Sometimes we might be a little bit more mindful and be mindful of the packaging of the products we consume. It's just judging each other is just what causes division, and we can come together in other ways, and that is just taking accountability for ourselves and being mindful of our own actions and not policing other people,
Mm.
because that is I think where we just, why we're going to have this conversation again, because man, if somebody's policing me, do you think I'm going to respond well? Not until I'm completely healed. And I still think, who made you the authority?
Yeah. And I
So
mean, the whole thing, the point of social media at this point, I mean, you really have to live under a rock to not realize that all of the platforms are owned by big companies. And the fact that you see ads everywhere, the fact that, YouTube is owned by Google and, Facebook and Instagram belong together. And then TikTok is also monetizing stuff, and there's now the TikTok shop, and you can, earn money on all the platforms if you want to. So that in itself makes this a whole capitalist game that everyone is playing. So if you don't want to participate in capitalism, get off the platforms.
I really like what Julia says here. Because I mean, you can't really argue with that. If you don't have the means to be buying stuff, you're not going to buy stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, and sometimes it is just literal facts that you can't argue with. Um and I mean, but for us to be in this community and judging each other over what we are purchasing, I think is totally like goes against what this community stands for. And I can't really speak on everyone, but I mean, I feel like it's a spiritual community. Sometimes, like if we're just showing tarot, no, we're not showing that side of ourselves, but
Mm.
like I don't have to, if I'm watching you do a flip through or a walkthrough or something, it doesn't mean that I haven't watched your other things and know you're a spiritual person. You know what I mean? Or at least
Mhm.
you are claiming to be spiritual. So if I'm going to judge you on because you're doing a walkthrough, it kind of takes away from who you are, and me judging you. I feel like, why are we doing that to each other?
Yeah. I mean, we're preaching love and light and live and let live, but we don't
Yeah.
follow through. We talk the talk, but we don't walk the walk.
Yeah. And we've all been there. We all do it.
Right?
And this discussion is to like help each other, you know, to better the community. Well, then I think it does start there, is just stop policing each other's channels and just let everybody be who they want to be. And, If it's something that truly affects you, we have other ways of communication,
Mhm.
not the comment section.
No, that's
That's for the public to see. If you really are
yeah.
concerned, then email or something,
Right,
most
or
people have that
start
on.
venting to someone in your close circle at home,
Yes,
like you
like,
and I do. Like, when we talk about stuff, we vent behind the scenes. People
yeah,
don't
to
see
get it
that,
out.
hear that,
Yep,
and
mhm.
then afterwards, you just feel so much better. And
Yeah,
I think some of these videos that are being made as responses or something are just venting, and
yes,
the fact that some of those videos then disappear when other people comment on something just shows
mhm,
that, yeah, this kind of venting doesn't need to happen in a public space. Do it
yes,
privately, and then later, like a week after that, see how you feel about it. If you then still
absolutely.
wanna make a video, go ahead, but also
Yes,
be ready to have other people
yep.
communicate their thoughts as well.
I can definitely speak on that because, I had stuff happen just recently that I realized that, people hate watch. And my gosh, I've done it. And that's why I can speak on it. I have hate watched and then thought, "Oh my gosh, there's no way I'm gonna go and comment on their video because, I don't have a right to judge them, but yet I'm making a video." And absolutely, that is my way of still hanging on to the negativity,
Mhm.
and then you got people commenting because you got people that are validated by what you're saying. It's still spreading the negativity.
Right.
Um, when absolutely, there's nothing wrong with using your platform to voice your beliefs, but if you are just trying to school someone, then what are your intentions with that? You know, um, I don't know. I guess maybe there's still things to be learned there, but I don't think there's anything wrong with voicing your beliefs on your own platform, but
No,
it's
you
the
can do that.
intention behind it. And just like what you said, talk to your your people in your circle and share it with them, and then they can either talk you down or be like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that." But getting a second opinion,
Yeah.
before
It
you go,
works for doctors and it works for social media.
hallelujah. Yeah, and don't hate watch.
No.
Don't hate watch. I'm telling you, it just doesn't do you. It doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do anyone else any good. If you're there to support, then watch it. Leave a comment, give a like, whatever. Just let somebody know that you're there. Let them know that you support them.
Yeah.
But don't hate watch. I mean, don't even give somebody that you don't have a good whatever. If there's something that's happened, just don't even give it your energy
Yeah.
because
I
that's
mean,
what it is. You're giving your energy away.
disagreeing is okay, but it can be
Yeah.
done respectfully.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, what brought you to their channel?
Yeah, I think that's one question that we should ask before uploading a video. What is that?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think I've sent you videos that are still
Mhm.
unlisted that I'm like, probably never ever gonna. There's no probably about it. They're gonna be deleted.
Yeah.
um, but there was one more thing about capitalizing off witchcraft community that I was thinking of, and this is what Lady Blind Wolf had brought up yesterday, was
Mhm.
about Greg Locke. And I think that there are dangers in like um, people that, and I don't even know if this really falls into this, but I was thinking about it. We have the grifters and all that, people that are kind of giving us a bad name,
Mhm.
because people like Greg Locke are intentionally misunderstanding us because of his own freaking ego. I think that happens all the time. If you are so invested in your own beliefs and your own ideals, you will uh, intentionally misunderstand. And it's dangerous when somebody like Greg Locke, who has a large following, is deliberately misunderstanding and trying to make you look bad. And it does happen on a smaller scale. It happens on smaller scales. It happens in this community. That is a dangerous um, aspect, the larger that person is, because innocent people can be hurt because of that.
I don't even know who he is.
He is a Christian pastor, and calling him a Christian hurts my head.
Like
Because
a
I don't even know.
televangelist, kind of?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
he's on a witch hunt,
Mm.
and
Well, everyone
it's
needs a hobby.
yeah, it's horrendous because he he's even talked about unaliving people for this practice.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and that puts us right back in the 1600s. I
So is he
mean,
what,
come on.
Catholic?
I don't know. I don't know. I've watched a few of his videos, and I think that's just sickening. It makes me want to puke all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think that's so wrong when you make assumptions about people. And like I said, it happens in this community. And it also, like, on a smaller scale, like if somebody, I talked a little bit about it yesterday, and I won't ever name names, but I mean, I think as a smaller channel, we see more because we're not allowed to talk about that when it happens to us, because we're a smaller channel.
Mhm.
And a larger channel can talk about how they've had grievances. And I guess the biggest takeaway is, like, if you are listening to somebody gossip, and if you are not in the situation and know exactly what somebody is talking about, then, but yet you are still continuing to quote unquote gossip, that's what that is. That's all it is gossip.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Unless you know specifically, you were in the situation, you don't know. You do
Right.
not know. So you are making assumptions, and those assumptions can be dangerous. They can hurt people,
Mhm.
you know? So unless you're in somebody's shoes and know them, or like you were in the situation, it needs to stop. I mean, I feel like, yeah, I am preaching. I'm on a soapbox right now, and I'm preaching, and take it with a grain of salt if you don't agree. This is completely my opinion, but if you weren't in the situation, you're gossiping, you know?
Right.
And I do think that we can be accountable for ourselves there,
We should be.
because Greg Locke is just a instance to where how dangerous that can become. And why would you want to hurt somebody in that manner? Because
Fanatism.
it's
Fanaticism.
what?
It's like when someone's a fanatic, they just go overboard.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that can be dangerous. So, if kind of like what we were talking about with the larger channels and all that, uh, it doesn't make you an authority on who's a good person and who's not.
Oh, no.
So please rein it in for the smaller voices. And again, keep it out of the comment section,
Right.
because I never had to block anybody, and I saddened that I had to do it this last time, um over somebody just wanting to misunderstand, and nothing I said or did was going to make them understand. So I just had to stop. I just had to, okay, I'm done. You know, it, there is email, there's, other ways to, if you're concerned or something somebody said hurt you, instead of the public platform. Or if you are, you could say, hey, could you please message me? I would like to say something to you. And then, you know what I mean? Instead of using their public platform or their comment section to come at them.
Mm.
I think that is something that would help the community a little more. It's just to be
Right.
mindful of that. I know some of my like Phoenix Fire, she has her comments shut off. And I think, yes. But then it's unfortunate too, because there are, like myself, I just want to support. I have never gone to somebody else's comment section and left a bad comment.
Mhm.
I think one time, a long time ago, I defended myself on something, but even then, I probably should have never said anything. You know what I mean?
Sometimes that's the better option.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think that we we as content creators, we we wouldn't be on here if we didn't want some type of validation, right?
Of course.
So having somebody comment it's exciting. It makes us feel like, our voice is heard. It's just a little bit of support and it's not hard. I think I've heard other creators say just, leave me a little heart or something. That makes us feel so good. I'm speaking for myself. It makes me feel good. It's wonderful. And if you weren't on YouTube, it would obviously you don't need that validation. But if you're on YouTube and you're creating, then to me, it's just, yeah, that tells me you like that validation. You want that validation.
You wanna
Anytime
be
you put
seen and heard.
yeah, absolutely. And there is nothing wrong with that.
Right. I
So
mean, that's what a community is for, right?
yes, 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 absolutely, absolutely. Um, have I been personally affected by this,
I
or
think
have I witnessed someone else be affected?
yeah, I think we just covered that.
I think so.
Yeah, we just covered that. We've
Yeah,
seen it all,
yeah.
and, to some
We've learned.
degree, whether
Mhm.
publicly or privately, we have been judging, and, we all
Yeah.
do it. We all sit in the glass house, we have that big pile of stones next to us. Sometimes we throw them, sometimes we rein ourselves in.
Yes.
And even I have situations, at work, I'm sitting in my glass house and some people just rub me the wrong way, and I wanna throw every single stone that I have. I just because it just annoys me so
Human.
much, and then I just have to remember, "No, this is not about them, this is about me, I have to deal with myself."
Yes. Yes, it doesn't mean that what you're feeling isn't valid because you feel it, you know?
But I have to identify those feelings and know why I have them.
Absolutely. And be accountable for your own actions. Be
Mhm.
proactive instead of reactive.
Right.
Absolutely. Um, should there be paywalled communities and online courses?
Yes. Because, in terms of courses, of like, naturally, if you prepare something where you are going to teach people, there should be compensation because you put work into that, so you should
Yeah.
be compensated. It's just like a job,
Yep.
and why wouldn't you wanna get paid for that? And paywall
Yeah.
communities, yeah, because we live in a day and age where people do judge, and sometimes if you have a special interest, group that
Mhm.
maybe not everyone is going to be happy to hear about, of course, put it behind a paywall, and the people that are really interested in it, they're gonna pay to be part of that discussion. The people that just wanna judge and leave a bad comment, they're not gonna spend money on it. So in that sense, you can kind of restrict, the people that are part of that discussion to the people that really honestly wanna be there, because I would never put money into something that I don't wanna be a part of.
Absolutely.
And that
And you
just makes
know,
it makes the conversation easier, and you can talk about things that might be controversial, and just, have a civilized discussion instead of having all the naysayers throwing stones at you, basically.
yeah, yeah, because as much again, like you said, as much as there's love and light, there is negativity.
Mhm.
And I mean, there's nothing you can do. You can't go around and point out and be the judge that says, "Oh, that person's toxic. That person's negative." That is completely your perception.
Mhm.
And if you have such a desire to destroy uh, their reputation, then there's something wrong with you. Okay. It's not the other person because everybody has different lessons to learn. Everybody, and we're all in that process of learning what those are, you know?
Mhm.
And I don't know. I agree with that. The whole having a paywall for your time because for somebody that doesn't have a lot of time, if I was to find the time to make that, it would be nice to be compensated. And again, you wouldn't, like you said, you wouldn't have the naysayers and all that. It would be
Yeah.
it would be wonderful. I can't, I know I'm not nowhere near doing anything like that, but I pay at least one person right now, and I've had a couple people that I have done that for that I
Mhm.
don't regret it. I don't regret it.
Right. And I
It's
mean,
money.
yeah, and the whole paywall, idea is, especially when you go to the witchy community, is not different than being part of a coven, which is an exclusive,
Oh, yeah.
group where only a certain number of people are allowed, and they may have to, give us certain amount of money each month to upkeep the club or whatever.
Yeah.
Same with every other club that you join, whether it's like a sports club or whatever, there might be some fees involved in that.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Especially if somebody's taken the time to create worksheets or, whatever it is, it's like that's their time. It's I don't know. I just think that that's worth it. Somebody's
Mhm.
doing that work for you. And I mean, if you respect that person, then why wouldn't you? They're just sharing their knowledge with you, and it took time to research what they researched. Yeah, I'm all for that.
Mhm.
Um, and you're just, I don't know. I just don't see anything wrong with it. I can't say anything otherwise. So put it that way.
Mhm.
I think I will say there's only one time that I had a little bit of problem of pain. It was a community of, there was one person that was sharing his knowledge, but it was a spiritual thing. And I thought, a part of me felt kind of like, I don't really want to spend money for this person to tell me how to be spiritually. You know what I mean?
Yes, I understand, yeah.
I had a little bit of trouble with that, and so I just stopped. It doesn't mean that I don't I still follow and I listen to him because he does have a lot of good points, but he literally said he makes his living off that, and it's to teach people his religion.
Hmm.
And yeah, that just didn't sit well with me. And I think that there are instances like that that I would have a little trouble paying money for somebody when my spirituality is completely my own.
Mhm.
I'm very, I'm very, it's personal,
Right.
and when I share my spiritual views on here, it's completely my own. I don't judge anyone else for how they believe. In fact, I want to hear what you believe because I'm always growing. It's just, I can't see paying somebody for something like that because it's so personal.
Mhm.
And I know witchcraft is. I'm not saying that it's not. I think that that is too. But again, there's certain things that I just don't know. And if I wanted to find out, it would be um my what do you want to say, accountability or whatever, to make sure I'm spending my money wisely,
Mhm.
So, hi
Hi,
Debbie.
Kendra.
Hi, thank you. Um The next question, how does one ensure the authenticity of courses, workshops, memberships, etc., as a financial investment? Oh, yeah. I mean,
Well, we are in a special interest group, whether it's tarot or witchcraft, where you don't really have like a government certificate, like a high school diploma or something that you
yeah,
can achieve. So for me, if I were to put money into something, I have different options. I can either, like, if they have a YouTube channel, I can check out their videos and see if I resonate with what they talk about to see if I want to invest any money in that. If it's a person that I have no knowledge about and they're selling something, and if they have completed other courses, for example, if I were to book a reading with a tarot reader and they have, like, on one of those hotlines, they usually list all the kinds of certificates that they have.
Hmm.
And for me, that those certificates in and of themselves don't tell me much, but the fact that they have them shows me that they put time, effort, and dedication into
Yeah,
that, into achieving them. So I can take that seriously because they put the work in. And that is the only thing that I can go off. I don't know how good these certificates are. Or like we talked about yesterday with She Who Shall Not Be Named and all of her angel certificates. And now that she did a 180, are those certificates worth anything? Was she just playing the whole time? I don't know. But the people that completed her courses and got those certificates, they put the time and effort in and they studied and they, did all of that. So I can recognize effort.
absolutely. I love that you said that because I've watched a few of these videos, actually more than a few. I've watched a lot of these videos already. And it's like when we get to this point, uh, there's a lot of discussion on who's qualified. And I think what you said is extremely important. It's like, how would you get a certificate in you know what I mean? But yeah, there's places like Udemy. I can't list all of them. Like I took palmistry on Udemy, and it was a pretty lengthy course. And then Karen Wells is her name. But then besides that, honestly, it's hands-on experience,
Mhm,
literally, and a lot of reading. A lot of my own studies, and even like cross-referencing because the internet is at my fingertips. Literally. I am like a person that's like, if something is not vibing like what I learned in any of the courses that I've taken, I then have to begin my own type of study.
mhm,
And so I've got notes from shows, fairs and expos that I've done where I'll notice things. And then I have to remember to take a picture of what I saw. And I'm talking about palmistry here where whoa, this is interesting, why did I not learn this in my books?
mhm,
And it is because it's something that you your practice becomes your own.
mhm,
And then when you put that side of you on a public platform, then the person can go to it and they can see, is this something I want to pay money for? you know if not, they can always try to learn the things themselves. But if you're putting the time in and it's apparent, you can see that, then it just helps, yeah, to be an open book, let people know what again, certificates and just sharing. You don't have to give it all away, but just sharing what you know, and that gives people the opportunity to see if you're worth what you're charging your services for, type thing.
mhm.
you know
Yeah, I mean, for tarot and astrology, I can't speak for other countries, but I know here in Germany, we have the Tarot Association. I know there's also an international one. And we also have an astrology association. So if you want to become a member for the Tarot Association, for example, yeah, you pay a membership fee for that. And then you have to um, you get like a year of time to be mentored by one of the people on the board, so to speak. And they will, like, you will have personal one on one training in a way. You can ask questions, you can practice readings, whatever. And you also have to then you get tested to see if you can actually apply everything that you learned.
Yeah.
Also, you have
Mhm.
to write a 20-page essay on a topic of your choice that has to do with tarot. And so you have to do something in order to become a member of that. But with that, you get the certificate that you have completed those things. And on top
Absolutely.
of that, you can also get tested to become to get that seal of approval from the Tarot Association when you want to sell your services as a reader. And then you can say you're certified by the Tarot Association.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Udemy has courses that you do that with. And, I mean, uh, I don't know if I recommend Udemy because I've taken like 3 courses off of there. and I'm currently working on hypnosis and past life regression. But that is honestly that it's not like I'm going to take those courses and go, oh, I'm going to be no, I'm going to have to read books. I'm going to have to like find guinea pigs.
Yeah.
And I want to be very, thorough with it before, because that's something I would take extremely serious, because I'm messing with people's minds. I wouldn't want to, you know what I mean? I would not want to be careless with that. So,
Yeah.
I think now we are at a point where we can talk about conclusions.
Yes.
So, what are some topics of conversation you'd like to see more in your community?
So for tarot, I would like to see more about personal experiences. Like, you can show me a deck and I will follow you through that flip through, but tell me something about how you use it. I want to know what kind of readings do you do with it? Like, what has worked, what hasn't worked, Give me the insights of how you work with the deck. Or when you show a book and you recommend it, tell me why. Like, I want to know some good stuff. Like, why should I spend my money on it? Because in a way, like, why are we showing these things? Because we're low key also kind of promoting them because we believe in those products, or we want to get the clicks, either way. But I want more personal experiences. That is something, yeah. And I would like to see less drama,
Yeah.
but I know that's probably not going to happen. And I'm sure in a year from now, we will talk about consumerism again. It'll
Yeah.
happen. It'll happen. And then what's a community? Are we a community? And all that. It's going to come back. And I wish that wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly wasn't, if this had just been about consumerism, I think I probably would have said, yeah, I'll pass on this one.
Mhm.
But I think that the biggest like anywhere that we as content creators fall short, in my opinion, is just how we interact with each other
Mhm.
on the platform. I'm not talking about behind the scenes, because I'm so grateful for every single one of them. And I'm grateful for the people that support me in my comment section. It's just honestly the policing and people thinking they know how we should run our channels,
Mm.
and or the people that are intent on misunderstanding you. It's like I don't know. I just feel like if it's something that bothers you, and you feel like it's extremely important, there's other ways to contact. And again, if there isn't, comment and say, I would really like to have a conversation with you. And I know for myself, I would appreciate that more, instead of bringing it to my comment section, because I love getting the support. And again, I wouldn't be on here if I didn't, I
Mm.
think all of us like that. And if a smaller channel is not allowed to say how they feel about things, that's very frustrating. And I know how that feels, because we should be able to have the same voice as the bigger channels. I don't think that having a bigger channel makes you an authority on human
No,
behavior.
it just makes you more popular. It means
Yeah.
you're the prom queen or prom king,
Yep.
and it's just hierarchy based on popularity.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Um, so as far as like conversations, I agree with you. I think I do want to see more of like a day in the life of, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I think that's awesome. I mean, we are real people, and we are connecting as real people. Yes, I love to see anything other than, but I would love to see more of that for the people that are also that are teaching, or talking about important topics. Who is it that's sharing these things with me? I love to see that. And I don't know, I think that's beautiful, and it just makes me feel good about being in this community, because I can see the potential of, oh my gosh, yes, Kendra's journey. Debbie, I love the vlog style day of life. I do too. Oh, and I want to say hi to Sonia. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for being here. Um, yeah. What are my community needs?
Um, well, coming from the field of journalism and also like one of those shows that I just started watching, even though it's like way old, The Newsroom, where it also like shows how a news show is being produced. And I think that can be applied to our tarot verse as well, because we are all the executive producers of our own channels. And something that I really like on that show is they are taking a new approach with how they present the news. And instead of bashing other channels on how they present stuff, they just focus on their own stuff and they want to get better research. They don't say something just because they want to be the first ones. No, they want to get the information right. So, in terms of our own channels, if you don't like something the way that it's done on another channel, do it better on your own channel.
Yeah.
Take the approach that you would like to see in other channels, lead by example, and just do whatever feels right to you, how you want to present your topics, and don't worry about what other people do. If you don't like it, don't watch it. It's that simple, and it can't be said enough.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Hey, for people in the back, what is that? I always see that. Hey, for people in the back. And they're clapping. I was like, yeah, yeah, that's where that applies. I agree with that. I like earlier in the conversation yesterday, we had talked about misinformation.
Mhm.
I think that is like misinformation is in everything, you know, and that includes like who is the person that says that's misinformation? You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
only person that can say it's misinformation is the person that said it.
Mhm.
You know, I don't think that I can. I mean, maybe I can watch something, and because I think in my own mind, I've studied long enough and I know better. I still know that that's my perception of that.
Mhm.
And I had actually watched one video where people were talking about personal gnosis, and especially in magic. Okay. Um, I guess the point I'm trying to make is it's like how I view magic is probably way different than anyone in the witchy community, but it's my view. I'm never going to go to someone else's channel and go, magic is not like that. No, no, no. Because your magic is specifically you. It's who you are. It's what you are. It's your spirituality. I have no right to tell you what you are practicing isn't right or you're misinformed. No, it's just like no one has the right to tell me because I mean, if I wasn't convinced, I definitely wouldn't be talking about it, So, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't have any right to do that, and neither do you. No one does. I feel like who's the one that's saying it's misinformation?
Mhm.
You know, if you've got questions, you have the ability to go check it out for yourself.
Right. And here's an idea. If you see a video of a topic, whatever it is that's being presented, and you either know that it's factually wrong or something, don't do it like a VR. Just do the topic for your own channel. Present all of your sources and quotes and websites, books, whatever, to underline what the issue is and present it in the way that you would have done in school, how they say in math, show your work. Just don't say
Yes.
it, I have seen that specific video and I want to tell you why that's wrong and mine is right. No, just don't even
Yes.
acknowledge the other video, just make your own video on that topic. Maybe we should, like, except for hashtags, kind of stop with the whole video responses and just do the topics ourselves without
Yes.
responding. Just present the topic the way that you see it.
I agree with that. I think that's an excellent advice for going forward.
Am I sounding angry? I kind of feel like I'm sounding angry.
Well, these are these are subjects, these are topics that can become very passionate because we've been
Passionate,
affected.
that's the word. I'm gonna go with that. I'm
Yeah,
passionate.
we've been affected by them. So how could we not
Right,
be
right.
affected? Or I mean, passionate. Yeah.
Yeah, because we
So
care. We care.
yeah, that's absolutely. And caring about other people,
Yeah,
No, who wants to see anybody hurt? Raise your hand. Really? No, nobody is raising their hand. I'm telling you.
right.
Um, where angry. Most of the times I'm
I'm
not even
German, it's
angry.
supposed to be that way.
Most of the times I'm just hangry. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, that I can be too, yeah. I don't have any chocolate at home. It's
oh
the missing
yeah.
chocolate that's talking.
Where would I like to feel more held and supported? Mm,
I don't know if I wanna be more held, but supported just in the sense that everyone should just worry about their own channels and not so much what other people are doing on their channels. When they don't like it, just maybe
yeah,
we should take a year of just not commenting on stuff we don't like and see how that
yeah.
goes.
I'm gonna say something that is gonna make me the bad guy. I'm just gonna
Oh,
say it.
let's
Yeah.
hear it.
Um, and I can't speak for everyone, so I'm not even gonna try. I'm just gonna speak for myself. I will tell you that I feel like in the past and even kind of recently, like I'm an easy target because I'm a small channel. And because of that, like again, when that happens, and again, that's my imposter syndrome actually coming out, honestly, because it's a victim type of a victim mentality. So I feel like if that is going on in the community, then I think we can do our parts by just again treating the smaller channel like you would the big channel. Don't go on your channel, please, and discuss your grievances with a person and not expect the same thing for the smaller channel because our voices are just as important. And I don't want to feel like I'm being policed because I'm telling people, how I feel about stuff. I feel
Mhm.
like I see if the bigger channels are doing it, I should be able to do it too. It doesn't matter if I don't have the numbers. But again, I don't have the numbers. So my reach isn't going to be the same as yours. So just exactly what we said in throughout this whole second part of this conversation is just be mindful. Don't police, don't go into the comment section and try to hash something out. How about we just again, what I'm saying
Vent
is,
somewhere else
yeah,
first.
where would I like to feel more held and supported is in my comment section. You know what I'm saying? Let me
Mhm.
know that you were there. And just don't hate watch. And if you are hate watching, at least keep an open mind. And don't comment and don't be hard.
Yeah, what was it that we were taught as kids? If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah,
Still true.
absolutely. I will never, like I said, I've not done it at any point except for one time I was defending myself, and I know now I should have never done that. It was in the very beginning.
Mhm.
Um, of creating content, and I learned my lesson right away. I have not done anything since then. I will never go and defend myself on someone else's channel, or think I've got to put my input in. No, I'm just going to support you. Even if I
Yeah,
don't agree with you, I'm going to support you and let you know that I support you. Why? Because it's your journey. This is
yeah,
it's your life. And I just want you to know that I you're human, and to me that's beautiful.
yeah,
you know
and when it comes to the whole defending yourself, I agree with Queen Elizabeth II. Never complain, never explain. Done.
yeah, absolutely. Build each other, support each other with no hate watching or competition. I dislike competition, absolutely. Why are we comparing ourselves?
It's
you
human
know
nature.
I know, but man, dang it. I know, and I understand that, but I also think that we can be better as a collective.
Hmm.
And that's why we keep having these conversations, is because somebody is feeling hurt somewhere, you
Yeah.
know. Um Sonia says that's all I ever wanted was for watchers to let me know they're there. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I can speak for both of you ladies here that I have way too much cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that I've never had a bad comment. And again, I never had to block people until just recently. But again, you can only expend so much energy trying to, um, you know, that's not what I meant. And if you took it that way, I'm sorry. How many times do you have to say that? You shouldn't have to ever say it, period.
Hmm.
You know, you just shouldn't have to.
Right.
All right. How can we
No, you missed one.
Oh, I did. Where do I feel like I'm not truly being seen by my community? Ooh, yeah.
Nowhere. Like I feel seen and heard by the people that I want to see and hear me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I do too. I do too. That's kind of why, like, that block button is our friend. You know what I mean? If we want to
Hmm.
keep the negativity away, I think that is, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I used to advocate for, no, let people speak their mind. No, I don't advocate for that anymore. You can absolutely speak your own mind, but I think, again, be mindful. And if it's because you don't agree, then there's other ways um, to deal with that.
Hmm.
How can we help each other in removing the external peer pressure and grow in community?
Uh, I don't know that we can. It's a nice idea, but just like utopia, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, I was kind of like deflated as I was reading that, because I'm thinking, yeah, we have these expectations that we put upon ourselves, let alone other
Mm.
people. And again, like you said, that is human nature. And we just want the best for people. And I'm
Mhm.
speaking for myself here. I just want the best for people. I don't, like, I'm happy when they're happy. I'm sad when you're sad. I can't help it. That's kind of like what being an empath is. I feel other people's pain, and
Mm.
it's hard. It's tough. And so, I want to just at least extend my, be like, I hear you, and I'm
I think
sorry.
the best thing we can do is lead by example. Be the
Yeah.
change you want to see in the world, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if we can talk it, we should walk it.
Yeah, right.
Um, how can we as a community come together more with constructive criticism without it seeming shady, passive, and aggressive?
We can't. Not in our nature. Unless we know the person, like you and I know each other, or like
Yeah.
with other people here. Um, you reading a comment without hearing the tone of voice can put it into a very different corner that's might not even what it was meant for. And yeah, unless you know that person, know how to take it, it's going to be very difficult. And so coming together, yeah, the one thing that we can really only do is lead by example. You
Yeah.
know, have a channel where you just put out your content, talk about yourself, your own practice, and don't compare yourself with others.
Yeah. Yeah. Constructive criticism, I have a little bit of a problem with that, because I think, especially with the topic of witchcraft or spirituality,
Yeah.
because how are you going to have constructive criticism for anyone in that? How? Really? I don't understand that term being used. You have constructive criticism for my witchcraft and my spirituality, even my tarot.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't understand it. And so that's my comment. I don't understand it. So I don't understand why someone would feel the need to give me that. I'm going to be 55 this year. Um, I got enough of it for myself, really. And trust that I'm doing my best, and I will continue to do my best. And I hope that for you, I hope that for everyone. Just do your best. And
Mhm.
I'm not gonna come at you with anything. I don't why would I? I don't have a
Yeah.
reason to. And what
Especially if
is
like, this thing is such a subjective experience.
yeah,
So you
absolutely.
can't really, put an umbrella over it and say one size fits all.
Yep.
It's just not possible, and the only constructive criticism you could give or receive, and that is, for example, if I were to go and apply to become a member of the Tarot Association, then yeah, I will be judged when I take the test, and they can tell me, well, you could improve on this stuff, and maybe this could be a little bit better. How I handle clients, for example, and how I talk to them. That can be constructive criticism, but it can't be about anything that we do intuitively. Like witchcraft is intuition based
Yes.
tarot stuff. Yeah, you learn the basics and you know what the cards, like the meanings that they have, but how you use them, how you combine them is intuitive. So you can't really
Yes.
criticize that. You can resonate with something or not and say, okay, this reader is not for me. I really love that person's readings. So I'm just going to go there and not to the other person.
Yep. I have like I've talked about it just a little bit, but more recently about my personal magic is very much comes, I think, from my Christian background, or like I was so drawn to it. So I'm very much into uh the whole tree of life experience, the whole
Hmm.
like so for me magic is very, it has to be pure, but that's for me. That's
Yeah.
for me. It's way I don't know how it is for you. That's just for me. And if you hear me talking about it, it's because I'm passionate about it. Because I'm talking about it doesn't mean that I'm judging you about how you feel it. No. In fact, I wouldn't be watching you if I was judging you. I want to know how you feel about it. Why? Because I'm still learning mine.
Mhm.
And it helps to, I get excited. I can tell if people are passionate about their magic. And I feel passionate with you, I mean, I think, okay, I'm missing something, so I need to really dive into this. Let me dive into it. And then I get excited all over again. So I mean, yeah. Um oh, what is an example? And I want to ask everyone in chat too. What is an example of shady passive aggressive? Give me an example.
Shady, like just saying you're doing it wrong.
Shady is like coming at somebody and not really saying it, right? I mean,
Oh,
it's,
I
like a
see.
double meaning maybe, right? Am I thinking the right thing? Are we all thinking that? How can you give constructive criticism without it seeming shady, passive aggressive? It's like that whole statement right there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to say it. Honesty. Don't sugarcoat your words, and I'm talking about if you are trying to talk to somebody, and one, don't even leave a comment if you're going to be shady, passive aggressive, because it's not constructive. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So if constructive criticism is what you believe, and again, when I say I don't believe in it, that's just my opinion.
Mhm.
It's not something that I resonate with, especially in my how I practice and my spirituality. So uh, I can't see leaving a comment in any type of manner that is just trying to school me, no matter if it's shady, passive aggressive or not. Just don't leave the comment then,
Yeah.
you know,
Unless you're
leave a
dealing
heart.
with yeah, unless you're dealing with historical facts that can be looked up and
Yeah,
backed up with, resources, everything else is purely subjective, so it can't even
yeah,
be judged.
absolutely. Um, how can we as a community do better when we do receive criticism and feedback?
Mm, I don't know. Are we
I
really good with doing that? I
I
don't know.
haven't been. I have not been. Okay. So, I mean, everything is a learning experience for me. And how I dealt with it the last time is with the block button.
Mhm.
Okay. So, going forward, I don't know if I'm going to just continue to do that because I feel like even passive aggressive is going to be negative if somebody is still trying to school me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Should I pin the comment and let everybody see that and just not respond? Maybe I might do that. I don't know. I really don't know. This is a lesson that I am probably still learning, honestly, because I can't answer it.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between criticism and feedback. And
Yeah,
the question
feedback.
is always, it goes back to intent.
Yeah,
Why are
I
you
think you're
saying it?
right. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, are you
And
trying to show off? Are you trying to put me down?
yeah,
Or, like, what's the reason behind it? So
absolutely.
if it's not to like correct something like, "Oh, I heard you say something in that video and I just want to let you know it's this and that." Maybe you I don't know, had a word mix up or something, then that might be a nice thing to correct someone,
Yeah.
but, everything else, if it's not in a good spirit, just don't do it.
Yeah. So again, it says, how can we as a community do better when we do receive it? So it's like, I think for my part, I'm just going to try very, very hard to be mindful and not read too much into it. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
I don't know. I guess we have that little button that has a heart next to it. We can either push that and be like, okay, yeah, I get behind that.
yeah.
I'm just going to be mindful with how I deal with it. And so, like, if I'm receiving something that I believe is criticism or feedback that is might have bad intention behind it, I think I will just try to be mindful of how I respond. That way, I'm either ending the negativity if I think it's there, or I'm actually, yes, I understand exactly what you're trying to say to me,
Hmm,
and I appreciate it. You know what I mean?
yeah. And, like, going off of what Julia said here, I have always seen my channel as a personal diary, like a time capsule for my personal experience that years from now, I'm going to look back on and see what did I do at a certain point in my life? What decks did I work with? What books did I like? And so I'm really not making those videos necessarily for other people. I'm making them because I have the desire to talk about something, and if I find someone who wants to engage in conversation, all the better. But I'm not good at like journaling on paper. So for me, this is just a way to put my thoughts in a kind of journal format. And so
Yeah,
it's not really an invitation to be criticized at all. It's just me putting it out there so that later I can look back on it.
absolutely. And I like Julia said, the question should be rephrased to, why do people feel entitled to criticize? Yeah, yeah.
Boredom.
Yeah, I don't ever feel entitled to criticize anybody. I never have, I never will. I don't. I mean, maybe it's my people pleaser. Who knows? But I don't feel the desire to criticize somebody for just being themselves. No, I don't. I feel like it's counterproductive to their own spirituality, their own growth. I'm making the channels for my kids to look
Yeah.
back on too, like a book of shadow. Oh my gosh,
Love
yeah.
that. Yeah, that was my thought too. Like, should there be a next generation, even if it's my nieces or something, like this way I can leave my legacy in a way.
Yes. Absolutely, Sonia. If we can say we're all on our own personal path, then that doesn't give anyone the right to criticize.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And I think going forward, we should just remember that,
Mhm.
or if we want criticism, we can say, I want you to criticize
I
my
want input, not
family.
criticism, but input.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my point. It's like we're not giving somebody the um an invitation, like you said.
Yeah.
There's no invitation
And
there.
if you want criticism, make a hashtag, ask questions, answer them,
Yeah.
and see what other people have to say about it.
Yeah, make it, yeah, absolutely. Kind of like this
Start
tag.
a
It's
discussion. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, let's see. Who are some of the community members that you look up to that are reliable resources and aspirations?
I don't fall into the whole thing of like looking up to people. I enjoy
Yes.
certain people's content, but I don't want to get into this like fandom thinking
Yes.
because that can also be a dangerous path to walk because we've seen it with other drama in past years that have happened, and I don't want to do
Yep.
that. So
If you gotta look up, you gotta look down.
yeah, I just don't want to fall into that. Like, I appreciate certain members of our little community, and I will watch them and follow, support, whatever. But I
Yep,
don't want to do the whole looking up to someone. That's not my place.
absolutely. Respect
Yeah,
is a better word, and,
yeah.
just love, or whatever, mutual respect, mutual just
Mm-hmm.
I adore all you everybody in here. I mean, I absolutely adore you, and,
Oh.
you know, I I love to hear what you have to say, and Metal Sage, Highly Sensitive Tarot, Kendra's Journey. Melissa doesn't have a channel. Phoenix Fire. Um, have I missed anybody that's been in here?
Mm,
Anybody that comes to my chats, Beanbag Hagwag. Um, I can't even. Obviously, Lady Blind Wolf. I mean,
mm-hmm.
I feel like if I forget somebody, then I might be doing an injustice here. So, if you have come to my comment section and your comment is still there and you're in my chat, I appreciate you very much. I'm very grateful for you and I'm grateful for the friendship. I'm absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Add any further thoughts, comments, prompt questions of your own. Express further points, offer solutions. This is it. This is it. What do you think?
I had one before we started and I forgot. I should have written it down. Damn. How about you go first and I'll think about it for a second.
Well, one of the biggest things with myself, when we look at each other and we think about, you know, if someone has any type of negativity to spread, and we put labels on it. The biggest thing that I've learned is labels are for me. When you put a label on somebody, that's for you. I don't prefer to be labeled. It's like if I label something, that was mainly because I had to label it to categorize what it is that's going on, what I think. But that label that I put on something, and I know I'm kind of being vague, but like when you label somebody as toxic, that label is your label that you put on them. That's for you.
Hmm.
When you spread that word to other people because you believe they're toxic, you are spreading misinformation. That label is for you.
Hmm.
And I know some people may not agree with me there. That is completely my opinion, but I think it needs to be said.
Yeah.
If you think somebody has imposter syndrome, that label is what you feel you got to put that on there. Someone else might not feel that way. You are spreading your own perception of somebody, your own assumptions. That's for you. That is completely for you. Take accountability for it. Don't spread that shit.
Right.
That's
I,
I don't know. I think I have 4 pages of notes here.
hmm.
Um
I remembered what I wanted to say. I
please.
think something that would be really helpful going forward is if everyone really just focused more on their own channel and what they want to put
Yes.
out and why they want to put it out,
Yep.
instead of comparing themselves to others, just do what you're interested in. Talk about the things that you like, that you're passionate about, and show me why you're passionate about these things, kind of get me excited with you instead of trying to tear down others. We should
Yes.
really just focus on ourselves, on our own channels, and
Yep.
I think that would be a great help.
I do too. I definitely do too. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I don't care what you think about other people. I'm not coming to your channel to see that.
Mhm.
I don't care what you think about other people's practice. No, I'm not coming to you for that. I want to know about you. And honestly, that's, I've been guilty of a lot of things, but as part of my growth, I want to be better. But that's for me. That's not projecting me wanting to be better to you. You know what I mean? That's for
Mhm.
me. Anything that I say is my opinion, my view. I
Right.
I and everything that you say is your opinion, your view. I I just love you. If
Yeah.
we differ on things, like, I mean, there's a few things that you and I differ on, but I mean, do you think that's going to make me love you any less or see you any differently? No. I
Then
think
that's not
that
love.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, that's it. Um, I can't think of anything else. I think we said quite a lot in this one.
Yeah, almost 2 hours now.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I want to say thank you to everybody that showed up today in the chat and just to anybody that has supported me. And I do try to get to as many of you that I can and watch your videos. I might miss some here and there. Um, but it's not because I don't want to see what you have to say, because believe me, I do. I only have so much time in a day, and so sometimes it takes me a while to get to your video. But and if you are consistent, I am like in awe of you, because I have trouble putting out a video a week, let alone so um when you put out a lot of videos, I'm actually in awe, and I'm is it okay to say I'm proud of you for for doing that,
Yeah.
because I am. I think that's awesome that you're able to do that. I just want you to know that I will definitely do my part of hearting and letting you know that I'm there.
Mhm.
Even if the comment is just hearts, I'm going to let
Right.
you know that I'm there. That's me, and I'm never going to come at you with my own judgments, because that's it. They're my own judgments. They're my own opinions. And they have
Exactly.
everything to do with me, not you. So you never have to worry about that with me. And I love you all. And I am so appreciative that anybody that has ever been here, even if you're not here anymore,
Mhm.
honestly.
Amen.
All right. Well, again, I'm going to say goodbye, and I will see all of you again in the
Yeah.
next video. Maybe it'll be your video. Yeah, because I do like doing this live. I agree. It's awesome. Well, I hope everybody enjoys their Sunday, and I'll see
Bye.
everybody again real soon.